Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video we're going to learn how to enroll user in Zenler course for Google Forms response. So I am an owner of a business and I sell online educational courses to my students. To collect the data of my students, I have created a form with the help of Google Forms. So my objective is that as soon as my students are going to do a form submission with the help of Google Forms to enroll themselves to the free course that I am selling, automatically that student should be enrolled to the course that I have created in my Zenler account. For that, what we are going to do is we are going to simply create an automation between Google Forms and Zenler with the help of Pabbly Connect. So if you want to learn how to do this amazing automation, then let me take you all to my screen. In this video, we're going to learn how to enroll user in Zenler course for Google Forms submission. So I am an owner of an online educational platform that offers various free courses to my students. My business uses Google Forms to gather information from potential students about their interests and course preferences. By creating an automation between Google Forms and Zenler, whenever any of my students submits a form indicating that they are interested in my free course, automatically I want to enroll that same student in my course that I've created in my Zenler account. So what is Zenler? Zenler is an online platform that helps you to create, manage or sell online courses, okay? So to create an automation between Google Forms and Zenler, we are going to be using Pabbly Connect. So on the screen, you can see the website of Pabbly Connect, that is pabbly.com/connect. After browsing this website, we need to sign in to our Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. So as I'm an existing user, I'm going to sign in to my Pabbly Connect account. After signing in, you can see the All Pabbly Apps window in front of you, in which you can see the 5 applications of Pabbly, from which we are going to select Pabbly Connect by clicking on Access Now. Afterwards, you can see that Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. In order to start an automation process in Pabbly Connect, we need to create a workflow. For that, click on this button right over here that says Create Workflow. A dialog box is then going to appear, which is asking for a workflow name. So I'm going to give a name to my workflow as Enroll User in Zenler course on Google Forms submission. So this is the name that I want to give to my workflow. If you want, you can give a name to your workflow according to your requirement, okay? Next over here, it is asking for us to select a folder. So on the left side of my screen, you can see I've created multiple folders in my Pabbly Connect account, from which I'm going to select a specific folder in which I want to save this workflow in. For that, click on this arrow and these are the folders from which I'm going to select Zenler Automations as the folder I want to save this workflow in. After giving a name to our workflow and selecting the folder, let's click on Create in order to create a workflow. A workflow is created in the name of Enroll User in Zenler course on Google Forms submissions, and there are 2 windows in front of you. One over here says Trigger, other says Action. Trigger and Action are the 2 most important steps of our automation process, because our process depends on these 2 concepts. Over here, Trigger says when this happens and Action says do this. That means our action is response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step but multiple action steps. Firstly, what we have to do is we have to set up our trigger step. For that, click on this arrow, and for the trigger application, we are going to select it as Google Forms. We are going to select a trigger application as Google Forms. And then for the trigger event, we are going to select it as new response received. As in my business, I'm collecting the data of my students who want to enroll in my free course with the help of Google Forms. And my objective is that as soon as a new form submission is going to be done by any of my students, with the help of Google Forms, automatically Pabbly Connect should capture the response. So that is why for the trigger application, I've selected it as Google Forms, and for the trigger event as new response received. Now to connect Google Forms to Pabbly Connect, Pabbly Connect has provided us with a webhook URL. With the help of this unique webhook URL, we are going to connect Google Forms to Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to copy this URL from here. After copying the URL, to follow the steps given here below in order to connect Google Forms to Pabbly Connect, okay? So now in order to connect Google Forms to Pabbly Connect, I'm going to open the form that I've created. As you can see that this is the form that I've created with the help of Google Forms, and we're going to connect this form to Pabbly Connect so that whenever a new form submission is going to be done by any of your students, automatically Pabbly Connect should capture the response. Now to connect this form to Pabbly Connect, click on Responses right over here. As soon as you click on Responses, over here you can see it says Link to Sheets. We are going to click on it. As soon as we go to click on Link to Sheets, a new dialog box is going to appear, which is asking for us to select a destination for responses. We can either create a new spreadsheet or we can select the existing spreadsheet. But as I want to create a new spreadsheet, I'm going to select the option and I'm going to click on Create to create a new spreadsheet. As you can see that this is the spreadsheet that is created with the help of this form right over here. And the spreadsheet and the form that we have created are directly linked to each other, so that whenever a new form submission is going to be done by any of our students with the help of Google Forms, the response of that form submission is going to be captured in this spreadsheet right over here. So this spreadsheet is directly linked to the Google form that we have created. So what we are going to do is we are going to connect this spreadsheet to Pabbly Connect. For that, click on extensions right over here. As we're going to click on extensions, from the options it says add-ons, we're going to click on it, and then we're going to click on get add-ons. As we're going to click on get add-ons, this window is going to appear, and in the window in the search bar you have to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks. So we're going to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks. I'm going to select Pabbly Connect webhooks. As we're going to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks, it says Pabbly Connect webhooks. We're going to open Pabbly Connect webhooks right over here. You can see that I've already installed Pabbly Connect webhooks, so I'm going to move forward. But if you haven't installed Pabbly Connect webhooks, please do install it so you can connect Pabbly Connect to the spreadsheet right over here. So as I've already installed Pabbly Connect webhooks, you can see over here it says Pabbly Connect webhooks. We're going to click on it, and over here it says initial setup. We're going to select it. You can see that then a new dialog box is going to appear in front of you, and over in the dialog box it is asking for the webhook URL in the trigger column. For the webhook URL, I'm going to paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us, and then for the trigger column it says the trigger column will be our final data column on which if the data is added. So in the spreadsheet right away, my trigger column is going to be column E, because in this column the final data is going to be added. So I'm going to select my trigger column as column E, and then I'm going to click on submit. As you're going to do that, over here it says setup configured successfully. That means it successfully added the webhook. So now remember, the steps which I'm going to tell you are very important, so please do not forget to follow it. Click on extensions and Pabbly Connect webhooks again. From the options right away it says send on event. We're going to click on it. It is saying working right over here. As the loading is going to be completed, I'm going to click on extensions again and Pabbly Connect webhooks. You can see a tick mark is in front of send on event. It is very important to click on send on event, so that whenever a new data is going to be captured in the spreadsheet, is going to send the data to Pabbly Connect. Okay, so that is why it is very important to click on send on event. Okay, so as we have added the webhook in the spreadsheet right over here, if I'm going to take you back to the workflow, it is saying waiting for webhook response. So now what we are going to do is we're going to do a dummy submission of this form that we have created with the help of Google Forms, and we're going to check whether Pabbly Connect captures the response of the form submission that we are going to be doing or not. For that, we're going to do a test submission. For that, click on this preview button right over here. As we have clicked on the preview button, this is the form that I've created with the help of Google Forms, which is asking for the first name, last name, email and the phone number of our student. For the first name of our student over here, I'm going to write it as test. For the last name of our student over here, I'm going to write it as smart34. For the email over here, I'm going to write it as testsmart34@pabblytuts.com, and for the phone number, I will write a dummy mobile number. After filling the details, we're going to click on submit to do a test submission. As you can see that over it says the response has been recorded. That means we successfully done the form submission with the help of Google Forms. So now I'm going to open a spreadsheet that I've created, and as you can see in the spreadsheet right over here, the response is captured. As you can see, the timestamp, the time on which the form submission was done. For the first name as test, last name as smart34, email as testsmart34@pabblytuts.com, and for the phone number, dummy mobile number. As now the data is recorded in the spreadsheet, now I'm going to open a workflow that I've created, and I'm going to check whether Pabbly Connect has captured the response of this form submission or not. For that, I'm going to open my workflow that I've created. I'm going to scroll down, and yes, as you can see right over here, the data is successfully connected in our Pabbly Connect workflow that we have created. If you're going to tally the response of the first name as test, last name as smart34, email as testsmart34@pabblytuts.com, for the phone number, dummy mobile number and all the other details. So this means that we successfully connected Google Forms with Pabbly Connect and a trigger setup is done. So now whenever a new form submission is going to be done by any of your students with the help of Google Forms for enrolling in my free course, automatically Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response. So now as our trigger setup is done, we're going to set up our action step. For that, click on this arrow, and for the action application over here, we're going to select it as Zenler. So we're going to select our action application as Zenler. And for the action event, we're going to select it as enroll user to a course, because we want to enroll a user in a course that we have created in our Zenler account. Okay, so this is the course that I've created in my Zenler account in the name of PHP course for beginners. So this is the free course which I'm providing to all of my students. Okay, so we are going to enroll the students who have done the form submission with the help of Google Forms in this course right over here. For that, we're going to set up our action step. So as I've selected our action application and the event, we're going to click on connect in order to connect Zenler to Pabbly Connect. Connect, a new window is going to appear on which click on add new connection. As soon as you to click on add new connection, over here it is asking for the API key and the school/account. Okay, for the API key, what we are going to do is we are going to open our Zenler account. By providing the API key, we are going to connect Zenler to Pabbly Connect. Okay, now to have the access of the API key, you have to click on this profile button and settings right over here. As we're going to do that, from the left side of our panel, you can see over it says API key. We're going to click on it. As we're going to click on it, you can see an API key is provided. So I'm going to copy this key from here and I'm going to paste the API key right over here in my Pabbly Connect workflow. Next, it is asking for the school and account. And over here in the example, you can see from the URL, we can receive the data of the school or our account. Okay. For that, I'm going to open my Zenler account. As you can see, that is my Zenler account. And over here in the URL, next to newzenler.com, you can see this is the name of my school. So I'm going to copy the name of my school from here and I'm going to paste it right over here. Okay. And then I'm going to click on save in order to connect Zenler to Pabbly Connect. Then you can see that Zenler is now successfully connected to Pabbly Connect. Okay. Over here it is asking for us to enter the course ID. So these are the course that I've created in my Zenler account, and as I am enrolling my students for the course PHP course for beginners, so I'm going to select this course right over here. Okay. If you want, you can select a course over here according to your requirement. So this is the course that I've created which I'm enrolling my students in as they are going to do the form submission with the help of Google Forms. So I'm going to select the course over here. Next over here it is asking for the course plan ID, and over here in the help desk you can see it says how you can find the course plan ID. Okay, so now to have the access of our course plan ID, you have to open our Zenler account. You can see that this is the course that I'm selling, that is PHP course for beginners. So this is the free course that I'm enrolling my students in when they are going to do the form submission with the help of Google Forms. And now to have the access of the course ID, we have to click on pricing right over here. As soon as you click on pricing, you can see over here an edit button is given of this course. I'm going to click on edit. As soon as I'm going to click on edit, you can see in this URL right over here next to edit, this is the ID right over here. So I'm going to copy this ID from here and I'm going to paste the course plan ID right over here. Okay. Next over here it is asking for the email address of our user that we are going to enroll in our Zenler account. So for the email address of our user, what we are going to do is we are going to map the data. Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. So we are going to insert the data from the previous step of our workflow. And how we're going to do that? As soon as you click on this field, it says Google Form new response. That was the previous step. If I'm going to click on this arrow, this was the same response that was captured in our previous step. As over here it is asking for the email address of our user, so I'm going to select the data from our previous step of the email address of our user. As I've selected the data is mapped, and as I've mapped the data has now become dynamic. That means whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the new data is going to be updated in place of this mapped data. Okay. Next over here it is asking for the first name of our student, so we are going to map the data of the first name of our student right over here. Next it is asking for the last name of our user, so I'm going to map the data of the last name of our user. Okay. After filling all the details, I'm going to click on save and send test request. As I'm going to do that, over here response is received, and for the message over here it says accepted, and over here in the description it says user enrolled to the course successfully with the plan core PHP programming. So you can see that the user is now successfully enrolled in the course that we have created in our Zenler account. So now I'm going to open our Zenler account and I'm going to check whether a student is enrolled to the course or not. For that I'm going to open my Zenler account. Now to check whether the student is enrolled or not, for that click on students right over here. As we are going to click on students over here in the students category, you can see a new student is added in the name of testsmart34, email as testsmart34@pabblytuts.com for the role as student. So we are going to check the student from here. You can see that the student is successfully added over here, and for the courses, if you're going to check, you can see that the course that student is enrolled in is PHP course for beginners. This is the course that we have enrolled the student in. Okay, so this means that we successfully created an automation between Google Forms and Zenler with the help of Pabbly Connect. But now for all of you guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another form submission with the help of Google Forms, and I'm going to check whether a new user is enrolled in my course that I'm selling for my business with the help of Zenler or not. For that I'm going to open my form that I've created. As you can see, that is the form that I've created with the help of Google Forms, and now to do another form submission, I'm going to click on preview right over here. So this is the form that I've created, which is asking for the user's first name, last name, email and the mobile number. So I'm going to fill in the details. As you can see that I've filled in the details of my new user. For the first name as Smart, last name as Dummy67, email as smartdummy67@pabblytuts.com, and for the phone number, Dummy mobile number. Then I'm going to click on submit to do the test submission. As you can see that over here it says the response has been recorded. That means we're successfully enrolled for this course right over here. Now to check whether the student is successfully enrolled in our course or not, for that I'm going to open my Zenler account. As you can see that this is my Zenler account right over for the course PHP course for beginners. I'm going to click on students to check whether the enrollment is done successfully or not. As you can see right over here, a new student has been enrolled. I'm going to check whether the student is enrolled or not. The first name of the student is Smart, last name is Dummy67, email as smartdummy67@pabblytuts.com. For the role is being student. And for the course the student is enrolled in is PHP course for beginners, as you can see right over here. So this means that we successfully connected Google Forms and Zenler with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now to sum up till now what we have done, I am an owner of an online educational platforms that offers various free courses to my students. I have created a form with the help of Google Forms that helps me to collect the data of my students who want to enroll in my free courses. So my objective is that as soon as a new form submission is going to be done by any of my students with the help of Google Forms to enroll themselves in the free courses automatically, the student who have done the form submission should be enrolled in the course that I've created in my Zenler account. For that what we have done is we have simply created an automation between Google Forms and Zenler with the help of Pabbly Connect, and this is how we create this amazing automation. So if you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment down below if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video. Not just with these applications, you can create automation with the help of Pabbly Connect between multiple applications. If you have any doubts, you can send us email on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can ask your queries on forum.pabbly.com. If you have any queries regarding the pricing of Pabbly Connect, then you can check out this link. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment down below if you have any questions and doubts, and please share this video, and thank you for watching.